Good morning, students. Let's come back to the class. Previously, we discussed about the applications of hash functions. So, in under message authentication, data integrity check is over. Now, coming to the digital signature and password storage. These are all the two also applications of hash functions. Okay, last class we have discussed this message authentication. Now, there is also a authentication with the HMAC also there. HMAC means hash message authentication code. It is a one type of combination algorithm. Okay. Uh, Next, coming to the digital signature. Digital signature is one of the popular authentication technique in the security. It is a kind of mathematical scheme used to authenticity of the messages or documents. Okay, used to authenticate the whether the message or document is correct or not, right? So here a lot of credential are going to use in the part of digital signature. Now let's see the digital signature is a mathematical scheme for demonstrating the authenticity of digital messages or documents. Documents means text. Suppose you are going to prepare a block from the document, whatever may be. It's some mathematical involvement is there where you used to check the authentication of the message or documents, right? So the digital signature enable the information integrity using hash algorithm. So integrity means in the last class what we discussed, integrity with the data information without editing, without changes, without modification and no alteration. Okay, no replay something. As we said, there is no problem. That means achieve the integrity. That means to ensure the message is not altered, a message created by the sender, and sender cannot deny having sent the message. It is a first created by the message without alter is authentication. Sender cannot deny having sent the message, non-repudiation. So means sender, suppose if any denying that I'm not sending the message, I have not sent the message, means it is a belongs to a non-repudiation. A denial of service attacks are sometimes, right? That we can show the proof for these non-repudiation cases. So for non-repudiation and authentication, we go for use the digital signature. Digital signatures. So how to construct digital signature? You can say here, but now digital signature has to authentic. It unfalsifiable. So you cannot claim that it is a I'm not sent. I am not person. Like example, unfalsifiable is possible in this using digital signature. Authentic is there. It show the give the authentication. The non-reusable, you cannot use, but you can unique one, unalterable and irrevocable. Okay, and we cannot change it and you cannot modify anything. When all these properties are gathered, the authenticity and integrity of information can be verified. So all this digital signature has this kind of properties. Definitely, it has that authentic, unfalsifiable, non-reusable, unalterable, and irrevocable. For all proud, nothing but accept the integrity and authenticity of information. That should be verified, correct one. Okay. So actually, digital signature is a method of creating hash code, then encrypting with some key, and that encryption you contains actually user credentials also. Okay, so that is called digital signature. Now it's not, it's like a previously we have a hash code. Okay, that same thing we can use in this one, that we can sign it. Now it is called sign it. How to prepare this one? Hash then sign paradism. First to shorten the message, that means you can calculate the digest. D is a digest or a hash code, hash value. Calculate from message. How apply the hash function? Capital H nothing but a hash function or a hash algorithm. hash function applied on the message, input message. Now you will get a D digest. Then sign the digest. S equal to sign on D, sign on D. Okay, sign means so that includes the user credential and then go for encryption. Generally use the private key in the digital signature. And what is a collision resistance? That signature is not same for two cases. See that if h of m equal to h of m, then two digest. Okay, assume that the two digests are equal, two hash codes are equal for given message one, message two. Okay, even though these hash codes are equal, then S is a signature on both. That means there is a free collision free algorithms and collision resistance, weak collision and strong collision concept is there. So that you can see in the digital hash or digital signature. More we can discuss more in that hashing. Okay, generally infeasible to find the message. If even though you know the hash code and there is some message, they're infeasible to find the message too from the given credential. Okay, that is a simply weak collision resistance. There is also a strong collision resistance we have. So we're infeasible to find the pair of messages even though hash codes are equal. Okay, that concept is there in this. Uh, what is the use of this digital signature? Actually, previously there was some attacks was implemented on the MD5 and the SHA-1 because of that problem. They get a bad certificates they're providing because of attacks. Attackers are claiming that they have decrypted, and they show that evidences also the message was whatever the message sent by the sender is shown, and also decrypted using these techniques. Using say some particular techniques, some techniques they are going to decrypt. There is some examples. We have a number of attacks due to this MD5. That's why later enhanced algorithms are used in the digital signature. But of course, digital signature today is a very powerful technique in the authentication of message and documents also in the computer science. So, what are the concepts related to digital signature? It is a similar. It is a operation. It is a similar to the MAC. MAC means a message authentication code. Okay, you can see coming up. The hash value of a message is encrypted with the user's private key. Now look into this. What are the hash value or digest you will get from the message that is encrypted with the user's private key. So user's private key. Suppose here, suppose attackers want to attack on the message, want to get some. That definitely he needs some private key. So no one will give the private key. So there is a private key uses is very confidential. If anyone who knows the user's private key can verify the integrity of the message, if you know that an attacker who wishes alter the message would need to know the user's private key, right? Now we got the point. Suppose any attackers want to alter the message, definitely you need a private key. Otherwise, it is not possible. Private key generally not going to shade. Is it? Public key will be shared, but private never shared. The implications of digital signature go beyond just message authentication. The implications, what are the above message and message authentications? What are the problems and cons that digital signature of the digital signature will be uh, enhanced? Okay, suppose any problems there, digital say after signing on the document, signing on that one, so we can rectify that one. Whatever the problems you'll get, rectify that one. Whether it is compromised or not, we'll check that one. So anyway, that Private key is playing a key role in the digital signature. How to use the digital signature? Okay, digital signature. See the figure. So this digital signature concept is used in the public key cryptography. That means asymmetric. Let's take the Alice, and there is this is called a Bob. Okay, Alice is going to create the signature. Alice is going to create the signature after the message was message is applied on the message. The hash function is applied. Then you'll get the message digest or hash code. On this, you are going to create the Alice is going to create the signature using his private key, private signing key. Okay. Then receiver side verify the signature using this public verification key. Is it clear? This verify the signatures. So they verify the signature is not a simple one. Is it some information is required from the allies also? It is not possible like eavesdroppers or attackers cannot identify that the message was sent by the allies or not. Okay, receiver side what we can do, verify the signature, verifying the signature. Digital signature should not only be tied to the signing user but also to the message. Okay, but we see that there is some users credentials all used in this one. That means signing on the message. Definitely it is a part of signing on the message only. Suppose example like using the private key, only allies can create it, and it is valid only if the decryption and plain text is coincide. Okay, because of allies he can create, he can allies is creating that digital signature. If the decryption plain text is coincide, then only it is valid. Okay, so means like some related information in the digital signature is not easy to break actually. So some unauthorized persons definitely they need some user credentials like allies information is also required while going to decrypt, is it? And there is also a verification is signing verification is also there. So if you know that plain text, and the no attempt is made to hide the information. No attempt is made to hide the information. So this is all the examples part of the digital signature concepts. Now we go to the digital signature. How you are going to use? These are all the examples of a digital signature. Simply, there is a given message. There is a given message. Then apply the hash function. Apply the hash function. Now we'll get go for encryption. Encryption of you of this hash code. Whatever the hash code or digest you will get using private key of user A. Private key of user A. This means source A. Then concatenated. That means append. Concatenated to original plain text. Then send to the destination. Destination also decrypt to the this whatever the digest encrypted text is there. Decrypt it using is the public key of user A. Okay. Similarly, is going to calculate the hash value for the received plain text. He will get the hash code or digest. After decryption, whatever the digest he will get, and computer digest, received digest, both are same. You can check it. If it is same, the authentication is success. If it different means there is a problem in the authentication. So there is a someone will change it. Something is happened, credentials wrong or message is wrong or message is altered or some whatever the may be. There is also a second method for digital signature. There is a message. There is a hash algorithm you can apply on the message. Now encrypting this message digest using private key of user A, then concatenating the message and digest encrypted digest, then also once again encrypting using secret key K, encrypting using secret key. So this previously without encryption. So message is open in the previous case. Now the message is encrypted. Generally, you we use this kind of authentication in the of digital signature in the general current applications, right? So encryption is there. So now two encryptions are there. One is asymmetric and symmetric key also there. So opposite reverse at receiver side, we can do the reverse actions. Decryption is done because encryption is lost in this phase. So decryption is first in this receiver side. Use the same key, decrypt that one. You will get the original plain text and encrypted hash code. Apply the hash algorithm, hash function on the given message. You will get the hash code. The received encrypted hash code is decrypted by the public key of user A because it is encrypted with the private key of user A. So you need to go for public key of user A. So then compare. If both are equal, then authentication is success. So look into the figures carefully. So these all the examples actually. Digital signature authentication using digital signature examples. Okay. So well, some of the examples you can see in the hash functions how to. There is also a digital signature topic is there separate topic. So there we can see the some examples, more examples. So now in this there is a concept in the hashing collision resistance. Collision resistance. So there is a because suppose that even two messages are there. Okay, two messages are there. Sometimes maybe hashing is equal, or if you, even though if you know the one message, one hash code, you cannot find the second hash code or second message. And even though hash codes, you know that both are equal, but you cannot find the both messages. Okay, so there is a collision resistance concept is implemented in the hashing. In this, there is a birthday attack concept. Is called birthday paradox. Birthday paradox. What is the meaning of birthday paradox? So generally, there is a standard concept is there among the 23 people. So there is a possibility. There is a possibility at least two people have the same birthday. Same birthday. Okay. So based on this concept, attackers are going to take the some kind of uh, hash codes. So they assume that any chances to get the extract the messages. Based on this birthday paradox, they are going to attack. Actually, it is not possible in the hashing. So because of it is a kind of brute force. Really, the birthday paradox is also a kind of brute force attack, but it is not possible. Okay, so this is about the collisions. Now let coming to the third one, third applications of message authentication. hash function, third applications of hash function. First one is message authentication, first application. Second one is a digital signature, and third applications of hash function is password storage. Password storage is a very small topic. Password storage generally in the system. How to know how to store the password? Generally, actually, password today also password storage technique follow the MD5 algorithm in Linux platform. Okay, in Windows also like SHA-1 like MD5 you can follow. Just for storage, just for given input your password, the salt can be added. Some salt means some additional characters will be added to your existing password, and then encrypted. That means hash code generate and store into the system. Very similarly, verification when you are going to enter the password next to time, that will be verified with your system password. Okay, like this. The hash functions provide the protection to the password storage. Whatever the password you are giving to your system, that will be to provide the protection. Instead of storing passwords in clear, most login process store the hash values of password in the file. Okay, so generally hash is computing for your password. That whether your whatever the password entered when you are going to log in next time, that password again on this you're going to apply the hash function, compute the hash value, compare the hash value to the existing hash value already stored in the file. Okay, if it is both, then user is authenticated. The password file consists of table of fields like user ID and hash value. User ID, what are you entered, and hash pair. Okay, so this an intruder can only see the hashes of passwords, even he access the password. He can either log on using hash nor can he derive the password from the hash value since hash function possesses the property of free image resistance. If there is a chance actually, but actually it is unbreakable also because to if you go for brute force attack, if your password lengthy, it is taking lot of time. Of course, no one is trying on passwords, but in people are trying on the networks maximum to extract the messages. Now see that example when you are going to enter the user credential like identity like user password. Now it is going to compute that hash value. The table is creating table store the your ID and along with the password, along with the password that means sorry ID and along with the hash code of the password, hash code of the password. Suppose next time user enter the password, then compute the hash function, apply the hash function, then generate the digest. Already stored digest is there, stored hash code, and the new hash code. Second time login, if you log in to the system second time, the second hash code will be generated. Both are equal. Then this decision will be taken. If it is equal, authentication login is success. Now you can enter into your system. Okay, like this, the hash functions are used in the password storage. Still today also, maximum operating systems are follow the hash functions to store the passwords. So this is about the a password storage technique. Okay. So now this topic is over. So what we discussed in the this topic, message digest and applications of hash algorithms. So applications of this is a message digest and these are applications of hash functions or hash algorithms. Message authentication that I discussed in the previous class. So in this class, what we discussed is digital signature and password storage. These are all the applications actually. Okay, so what are the places where we can use the hash functions, hashing? So right, message authentication examples with the figures. Next, coming to the digital signature with figures. how to verify the signature. Next, there is a password storage. So you can remember these three applications of the hash functions simply with at least one or two diagrams for each one. So then you can identify. You can easy to write, easy to explain. Okay, this is about applications.